Highways England's got three imperatives: safety, customer service and delivery. And safety, of course, is our number one imperative, but close on its heels is customers. And for some time now, we've had, since December 2015, we've had a customer service strategy in place. And delivering to customers and our communities is something that Highways England has become increasingly focused on over the last 18 months. It's really fundamental, the strategy, in how we're going about changing and transforming our organisation into one that operates, maintains and builds the network with customers in mind, with delivering outputs for our customers. And in particular, we've made quite an investment. So Andrew kindly introduced me as Customer Service Director in Highways England. I'm actually the Customer Service Director for the operational arm of Highways England. So that's the maintenance and traffic officer service community in particular. But actually there are three other Customer Service Directors, each within Highways England. And our approach is to have a Customer Service Director in each of our delivery arms. So there's one in the major projects parts of the construction part of our business. There's one in the supply chain part of our business, the commercial and procurement sector. And then also there is one within our professional and technical services part of the business, so looking at the standards and policies that drive and govern customer service throughout our entire organisation. So Highways England has made a huge investment in delivering customer service across all of its business areas. And we've invested quite a lot in terms of gathering insight. Obviously, we work with partners such as Transport Focus, who do a lot of research activities to enable us to understand how road users feel and what they want from our network. But we do our own insight as well. And we know what customers feel and we know what they want. And actually, we're all customers of the strategic road network in this room. But we've been able to kind of distill that down into some overarching needs and sort of themes, really. So essentially, customers, of course, safety is our number one priority. They want to feel safe on our network. So some of that's about the infrastructure, but some of it's about other drivers. It's them, it's not me. If only all the other drivers on the network were safe and competent, we'd all be safe, wouldn't we? So there's lots of work we can do around education. They want to be in control of their journeys. So that's about the information that we provide to them. Actually, we give customers control by keeping them informed and giving them choices around our network and around opportunities off our network as well. So it's not just about giving them choices about our network, it's about giving them the multimodal choices. Stress-free journeys. It's quite difficult, I guess, if you're stuck in a queue on the M25. Has anybody been watching the M25 programme? I've been very interested because I used to run the traffic officer service. So it's very difficult to imagine a stress-free journey when you're stuck on the M25 for 4 hours. But again, this is more about information and choice. Actually, it's a less stressful journey if you know what the impact is on your journey, how long it's going to take you, and actually there are services that are out to support you. Trust what they're being told. So this is messaging, you know, actually, if we put signs and signals out on the network, they've got to be things that people, A, understand, B, recognise and think are true, and actually, you know, that adds value to that journey. So, you know, what's the point in putting a message up that doesn't actually make any sense and nobody's actually paying any attention to? And finally, to be listened to. So how we communicate and deal with our customer contact and correspondence is really important. You know, we want to be respectful. We want to have an honest and open dialogue with our customers, and we want to be responsive. So, you know, not 15 days to get a reply, but actually being much more responsive than that. So moving on a little bit more into how we kind of gather some of that customer insight. We've got a new customer insight survey. It's a new online one that we're developing. It's a robust sample size of 20,000 plus customers on a monthly basis, and that gives us a great deal of insight now and helps us to understand the key pain moments of our customers and what causes them kind of pain and you know, unhappiness about their experience on our network. And this might not be very easy to read. It's not very easy to read here, so I suspect it's even less easy to read out there in the audience. But if I share with you some of those pain moments. So the sorts of things that our customers experience on the network, or they're telling us they experience on the network: lack of information, no information, that leads to frustration and anger. Poor road surfaces, flooding of our network, Safety concerns, discomfort, particular sectors of our road users, like motorcyclists, for example, road surface quality is a real issue for them. Vague and untimely signs. I mentioned signs before, so actually, what does that mean? I'll come on to signs a little bit more in a minute, but if we put something on the M6 about something that's happening on the M25, is that helpful at that particular point in time? Other drivers, actually, white van man, people that drive too slow, middle lane hoggers, all of those categories of other driver that kind of drive us to distraction and cause frustration and anger when we're out making our journeys. Congestion management, do we get the variable speeds right? So actually we're telling people to slow 60, 50, 40. Is that helping the congestion management? Or is that just driving customers up the wall and actually not making an awful lot of difference? And planned roadworks activity. We know we've got a huge programme of investment out on Highways England's roads at the moment, but actually it's important that customers understand why they're there, what we're doing, how we're touching the network, and that they visibly see that we're working out there. It really matters to them to see road workers in those roadworks. The length of roadworks, the duration of roadworks, all of these things are pain points for our customers, and we need to understand them so that we can address their needs. And then moving up to segmentation, we did last year in July, we did some further research to really understand what our driver types were. We'd observed, and this verified our observations really, that we had got different segments that we had to understand. We undertook quite a simple exercise with our executive team around this actually. We did a questionnaire. So I wonder if you can imagine which Highways England executive team was in, which category out of those. Can you read them? Speedy, superior, nervous, respectful and steady. What do you think Highways England executive team is? Nervous. Yeah, but not driving on the network. So sorry? No, superior. No. I mean, most of the Highways England executive, including myself at the time, travel a lot on the network. We're always out there. We're travelling all over the country. So we think we're great drivers. It's everybody else. We're fabulous. What that means, and it's probably representative of some of our senior leadership team and a lot of the people that work in our organisation, because we know our network, we're familiar with it, and a lot of us drive on it, is we're probably not the best people to decide what customers want. So it's why this customer insight work is so important, because otherwise we're going to deliver solutions that are just around meeting the need of superior drivers. And we're not going to be delivering solutions that meet the needs and understand the issues around those other driver types as well. So it's important that we get that insight from all those segments and all different parts of our customer base, because that will really inform the right solutions out on the network. Innovating. What we're doing, we're moving on. So it's not just, I mentioned communities as well. We're not just focusing on customers in the terms of road users that travel on our network. We're also focused now on our communities. We have communities that live by our network. Okay, they're affected daily by the work that we do out on our network. So we've developed a community engagement approach, which is really aligned to the customer strategy that I showed you earlier. And we're doing quite a bit of work. We're developing a community satisfaction KPI and doing quite a bit of work now stepping out into the community. So we're developing a community mapping tool that will help our business understand the communities that they're affecting. We're also looking at diversity within that community mapping tool as well. So we're understanding even different segments within those communities. We're doing a lot of outreach work. We're encouraging our staff to go out into communities and to understand how our business affects their communities and what we can do differently and better. Benchmarking against other organisations to understand how they do that as well. Responding to customer feedback. So we take all that customer and community feedback and what do we do with it? Does anything change? So I mentioned earlier, so does that, if I stand here and I don't know how well you can see this, that sign says M25, junction 12 to junction 11, road closed. That sign says M6 South, Birmingham's 13 miles away. And that's a queue of traffic. If you were sat there, how many customers do you think that sign is useful to? Probably there might be a few customers in there. Maybe 5% of customers are thinking of heading on the M25 if they're on the M6 southbound heading towards Birmingham. Okay, but I would imagine that the majority of these customers stuck in this queue just want to know, why am I stuck in this queue? So we've got to get much more dynamic with these signs and with the information that we present to customers. And that's how we're responding now. So we're doing a lot of work around, and particularly in my area of the business and operations, we're doing a lot of work around actually the information that we present to customers on a daily basis has to improve. The experience that our customers have on the network on a daily basis has to improve. So it's not just the big things, it's the things that are seemingly quite small and actually quite easy for us to fix. Get the basics right. So we are really focused on getting those basics right. This one here is the customer focused roadworks checklist. So this is used on major projects now. And what we encourage is anybody who is part of delivering the scheme and our traffic officer community as well, and actually any member of staff who happens to be driving through them, afterwards goes through this checklist. And this asks a few questions like, is work going on in the roadworks? Is there portable VMS saying how long the roadworks are, how long it's going to take you to get to the end of the roadworks, and are they quite dynamic? And all of that's fed back into the scheme, and if there are improvements that can be made, the scheme is improved on an ongoing basis to keep delivering improvements of that experience of going through those roadworks for our customers. And then finally, we're doing some quite innovative stuff around roadwork speeds trialling on our network as well. So traditionally roadworks 50 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour. We've done some trials last year on the M1 and the A1 where we've been trialling 60 mile an hour speed limits through roadworks as well, and we plan some more for this year as well. So again, actually, if it's safe to do so, you know, why wouldn't we enable our customers to, you know, to shorten the length of their journeys and have a better experience through those roadworks as well. So there's quite a bit of innovative stuff going on. Working together, well, we're doing quite a bit of work around diversion routes, working with local highways authorities, and we're working with our police partners to understand local diversion routes and make sure that they are fit for purpose. We're working with the Considerate Constructors scheme. They currently do audits of major projects compounds, but actually what we will be working with them to do is to deliver roadworks, more roadworks audits, similar to the ones that we conduct for ourselves, scheme drive-throughs, information to residents, checking what sort of information we put out there, as well as environmental and safety type of auditing as well. And then we do a lot of outreach work that I mentioned, but at senior level with these guys as well. So I've spent some time with the Royal Mail last year, going to see their distribution centre down in London, and really understanding how we operate our network affects how they deliver their business as well. So we do a lot of work with these guys. And this is kind of formalising our approach to how we're going to continue to work with stakeholders and drive those improvements. And then last but not least, looking forward, we need to work much more with our supply chain. We need to learn from them. They're doing some good stuff out there as well, and share better ways of working. Continue to use our insights, make the right decisions for our customers, and listen and work with our communities to understand their priorities. And then continue to work with stakeholders and develop strong relationships with our partners through Transport Focus and ORR, so that we're all working together to deliver the best benefit to our customers.